Alrighty, so it's totally the morning. I just showered and have my robe on. I'm gonna do my assumptions about me video. I've seen this one a lot on YouTube and one of my friends told me I should do this, so here we go. Are your parents divorced? Yes, my parents are divorced. And then another question that I know I got, which it's like in the bottom of this, but is if my dad is around. I don't really talk to my dad. Just like some annoying stuff, nothing that really was like huge, but we just don't really talk. So yes, that was definitely a proper assumption. A lot of people said this one. You want to be a young mom right after y'all get married. Yes, we definitely want to have kids pretty soon after we get married. We're kind of just like not gonna be like pushy on ourselves, but just like kind of give it up to God, and whatever happens happens. That's kind of the situation that we have going with that. You secretly miss living in Buffalo. This is kind of like a double-sided question. So I miss Buffalo for like the food. I am obsessed with the food in Buffalo, like obviously the chicken wings and just like a lot of the fast food there. I really miss that. And I also actually miss Buffalo when there's like insane snowstorms. I miss the snowstorms so much because they're just so fun, and I don't know, it was always fun when like they'd be like, okay, weather advisory, you can't go out on the roads, but like we would go out on the roads anyway. But other than that, I don't really miss living in Buffalo. Like I definitely prefer the environment in Nashville over Buffalo. My favorite type of food is Mexican. Definitely, we definitely get Mexican. Like there's a Mexican restaurant a mile up the road from our house. We probably go there 3 times a week at least for either lunch or dinner. Someone said, since you're really pretty, you're mean. I appreciate you saying I'm really pretty, but I don't like to think that I'm mean. That's kind of a really mean assumption to say about people who you just think are pretty. Like, I don't know, it's kind of unsure about that one. You're very organized. Not super organized actually, so that would be wrong. You have your life all together. I definitely don't have my life all together. I feel like I have lists everywhere around the house trying to like figure myself out because I can't remember to do anything, which is why this video is going to be posted like a week late. I have to write down my entire life. It's definitely not all together. I'm going to change my name on Instagram after the wedding. I don't know. Honestly, I would love your guys' feedback on this one because I kind of want to change it, but at the same time, Allie Green 13 rhymes and it's got a ring to it, so I don't know, like that's, I guess, how I'm known, but I'm gonna be Allie James, so I feel like I do need to change it to Allie James. I'm a hardworking girl that does whatever it takes, traditional but with a pop of fire. I would definitely say that I'm hardworking. I would definitely say that I am pretty traditional. As far as like, don't hate me, I'm pretty traditional as far as like man and women roles go, but I do work, so it's kind of hard to explain. I'm a good cook. I would say that's like a 50-50. I'm definitely a pretty good cook, but sometimes John will be like, okay, literally wipe this one off the plate, we're never making this again. So I am a nanny for the Duckers. I am not a nanny for the Duckers. They do not have a nanny. You've gotten breast implants. I got that one a lot. I do have implants. A lot of people want me to do like a full video on that. I don't know, it's kind of personal. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I don't feel like, I mean, honestly, I feel like you have to go to your doctor. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll do like a little breakdown of just like some tidbits of things that I feel like would be good information to share. I spend hundreds on clothes every week. Actually, I do not. A lot of the places that I shop from are like John always will be like, oh, you got another Asian package at the door, because I get a ton of like my clothes just from like Zaful, Shein, just like a lot of cheap Asian places, honestly, because I don't know, you're not gonna wear your stuff that much. Like I have a ton of clothes and I'm not really an outfit repeater, so I just get cheap clothes, and then I mean they're still just as cute. A lot of people also said that I don't like Jessica and Sydney, or we don't get along, which is not true at all. We're actually really close. So that was an interesting assumption that I had gotten. It's easy for me to lose weight. I would not say it's easy for me to lose weight. No one in my family is super overweight, but I plateau on my weight loss. So like before I did intermittent fasting, I literally could not lose any more weight. Like I had just like chunk on me and it would not come off. I would work out like all the time and it just wouldn't come off. So I really had to change up my diet and just like the way I was eating. Totally confident about my body. That's another one, definitely not totally confident about my body. Obviously, like, I got boob implants because I didn't like my little boobies, and I don't know, I think I have really chubby legs because I'm short. Well, there's always things you would wish that you could change about your body. I met John on a dating app. Did not meet John on a dating app. We were actually set up on like a blind date situation. Hate comments don't bother me at all because I seem confident. I mean, they used to really bother me. I used to like literally cry when John and I first started dating, but now I'm just like, okay, like I guess you're just having a bad day or you're like not having a happy life, so if you want to put it on me, fine. I'd rather you put it on me than someone who can't take it, so I'm just kind of whatever about those. Naturally skinny, definitely not naturally like skinny, but I'm definitely not naturally fat. I would say I have like a pretty athletic build, but I definitely do need to work out. Popular girl in high school. I would not say that I was a popular girl in high school. I wear the pants in the relationship. I think it's pretty fair, so I would say that's a no. Like, we're pretty 50-50 on it. I'm short. I am short. I'm only 4'10". Me and John have a perfect relationship. I don't think anybody has a perfect relationship. Like, we definitely, one of the questions was also that we fight a lot, and then another question that I know I saw was that we think our relationship is superior because we are IG famous. I would say like we definitely fight, like for sure we fight, but that's because we're both really stubborn. And I do not think at all that my relationship is superior by any means. I do think I'm really good at giving advice because we've been through a lot of stuff, but I don't think we're superior at all. Like, we have got our problems, trust me. But I mean, you just make it work. That's just kind of how relationships are. Someone said that I am controlling and possessive of John. I definitely wouldn't say either of those, honestly. I mean, you'd have to ask him if he thinks that. I don't think he does, though, because that would like drive him nuts. I kind of let him do his thing. Like, he does his thing, I do my thing. I'm definitely possessive over him. Like, no one's gonna, you know, touch him, be near him. One of my favorite TV shows growing up was Hannah Montana. Definitely was Hannah Montana. I used to watch that show every single day of my life. Someone said that they assume I smoke weed. Anybody who knows me personally knows that is the farthest thing from the truth. I actually hate marijuana with a passion. Like, I am so against the like pro-legalization thing. It's a no for me. I would like go to Washington DC to protest it, honestly. Like, I would definitely get into politics regarding that. I would rather be in jammies than get dressed up. I would say that's true. I mean, as you can see, like, I'm in my robe right now. I don't love getting dressed up. I think it's fun to get dressed up, but I'm definitely more of like a comfy type person. I wear sweatpants and sweatshirts a lot. I did not think I would get engaged young. I always wanted to have like a high school sweetheart growing up. Like, I was like, oh, like, I think everybody loves the thought of a high school sweetheart. But I never wanted to really date anybody that was like from my high school, if that makes sense. Like, I had one boyfriend before, but I just didn't, I don't know, like, I didn't feel like I was gonna marry anybody from my high school. So then when I would consider John sort of a high school sweetheart, because I met him when I was going into my senior year, and then like once I met him, I definitely knew he was the one. So I don't know if I assumed we were getting engaged young, but I knew he was the one and I was young, so I guess maybe I did assume we would get engaged young. I seem like I'm quiet and shy, but I'm actually feisty and outgoing. So I'm actually, okay, I'm pretty shy in like settings where I don't know people. Like, if we go to an event or something, I will literally drag John with me and be like, you have to start all the conversations because I can't talk to people. Once he starts talking and I'm like more in my zone and in the vibe of things, I definitely open up and I'm like a little bit louder, I'm more outgoing, whatever. But to start off, I'm definitely super, super shy. Like, even doing these videos, I'm in a room alone talking to myself essentially, and I literally get shy. Like, that's how bad it is, but that's okay. I've never had acne, never had a day job, no hourly paid jobs. Someone said no shade. That's kind of a lot of shade. Also, by the way, guys, your names are attached to these, so if you said something mean to me, I can see that it was you. Just in case you guys didn't know that, your names are on these. But so I definitely had acne. This person probably hasn't followed me for very long, but I have many blog posts about my acne. I had cystic acne. I have acne scars really, really bad. My acne's finally cleared up because I've done a lot of stuff about that. So if you have some acne issues, check out my blog posts, because that's the only way that I cleared my acne, is from like all the stuff that I've been doing and just like using good products. I've never had a day job or hourly pay. The reason I'm laughing is because all throughout college I worked pretty much full time. So I worked my freshman year. So my freshman year I actually was on the soccer team at another school. So I didn't work first semester. Second semester I transferred to Belmont in Nashville, and I wasn't playing soccer, wasn't doing any sports because I didn't have a club team and I did not want to play D1 soccer. So I got a job at Jenny's ice cream shop, and I used to work till midnight. I would work so many hours at that place. Sometimes I would start at 10 a.m. I would get off for a little bit, and then I would have to work until midnight. Then I worked at Applebee's. I would have to work like 2 doubles on the weekends, like Friday morning shift and night shift, Saturday morning shift and night shift. There were even times when they would put me on the Sunday shift. Like, I worked so much. And at the same time, I also was doing Cycle Bar. I worked there. It's like a little cycle place, and I worked the 5 a.m. shift, so I had to get up really early to work for those. Those were all hourly pay jobs, and they all sucked, and I busted my butt. But I like to do things, and I wanted to buy things, and I didn't want to ever have to worry about money, so I definitely, I worked all throughout college. And I started doing eyelashes. Then my senior year, I actually had 3 full-time jobs pretty much, so, and I overloaded on all my classes. So this person, it's funny to me because I'm definitely someone who's like worked my entire lifetime. Like, I got a job when I was 15, and my mom didn't even know I had gotten a job, and I was like, hey, I've worked today, and she was like, why do you have a job? But yeah, that's just always been me. I just always have wanted to like make good money and be able to do the things that I want to do. So yeah, I mean, I definitely, that one was a no. I'm sweet, but I don't take shit from anybody. That's definitely true. I kind of tell it how it is. Everybody really knows that if they know me personally. Me and John are both stubborn. Definitely super stubborn. Me and John are best friends. We definitely are best friends. That I'm actually a brunette but dye my hair blonde. There's a mirror right here. That's what I'm looking at. Okay, so funny story. I actually dyed my hair black in high school, and ever since, the hair has grown in like pretty dark at the top by the roots, but once it gets to a certain point, it turns like a really dirty blonde. I would say about 2 inches of growth into my hair, excuse me, it turns dirty blonde. Now this is not to say that this is my natural hair, because this is not. This is like bleached. I bleach my hair, I get icy blonde highlights and balayage, and I like do that regularly. So this isn't, you know, my natural hair, but I'm not really a brunette. I would say my hair is like a dirty blonde. It like might cross over into that light brown just like a little bit, but this like right at the base, how dark it looks is really, it's not that dark. It's just the way it grows ever since I dyed it black. I know I did that. I know a lot of people did, but it was quite interesting. I'm not going to share my hard times video. A lot of people said that. So the reason that John and I aren't going to share our hard times video is just because we have some things that I think we thought were kind of solved, but they weren't. And I don't feel right sharing the hard times video with you guys if it's not like we're fully past the hard times. So like, we have things that we really do deal with every single day, every single week, that are like serious situations. Obviously, like, we love each other through them, and it doesn't, you know, affect our relationship on a day-to-day. But at times it does really affect our relationship. So I want to get through all of that stuff and then be able to share that stuff with you. And also, like, a lot of it I think is going to be like some judgy stuff that y'all are like, I'm gonna definitely get some judgy comments on it. So I wouldn't feel right doing that until it's like we have some time in between the solved problem, if that makes sense. And it will come. Like, we are working through it every single day, like I said. So yeah, it'll come eventually. It's just not gonna be right now, honestly. Like, it might not be until right around when we're getting married or after our wedding. Like, it's just gonna be like one of those things. So you might have to wait a little bit on that, but it really will come. I'm not like hiding anything like that from you guys. Like, I'm happy to share it all, but I just want it to be fair that we are through the hard times completely. Okay, a lot of people had comments about money. So I had a lot of assuming you're rich, assuming you guys have a lot of money but pretend you don't, and then the opposite, assuming you don't have a lot of money but pretend you do. So I guess for me this was a little bit of a confusing one, and I thought kind of long about how to answer this. So as I said, like, I worked a lot throughout college, and John didn't finish college. He got 2 years into college and then stopped, and he worked as a manager at a Dunkin' Donuts. He worked as a smoothie boy at a gym, where he ultimately met his original business partners and then started Strong and Sexy Fit, and now he does Strong and Sexy Fit full-time. So we both have worked a lot. I think that it can come off like we have a lot of money, I guess, because we travel. I wouldn't say that we don't make good money. We definitely make good money, but we work really hard for what we want to do. So we set goals for ourselves, like, hey, you know, I want to, for example, right now I really want to go to Hawaii. Like, I'm like, oh my god, babe, like, I want to go to Hawaii. Now, could we book a trip to Hawaii right now? Of course we could, but we also have taxes coming up in April. So we're like, you know what, we're gonna wait until after taxes are done, see what kind of damage we have to pay, and then once we are done paying taxes, we can kind of discuss if we're gonna go on that trip or not. And so all the trips that we have, we don't have any future trips planned other than we're going to Mexico in a couple weeks, but that's been planned for a while. So we don't have anything new planned coming up, just because, like, we are conscious of decisions with money. I think it's just important to, like, save for the things that you want to do, you know, save for things like buying a house. I definitely believe, like, you don't take your money to your grave with you, so I'm not sitting here like, let me put 500K in the bank and then, you know, once I have 500K we can spend some money, whatever. But, like, I just think, you know, just save for what you want to do, work really hard. Like, we really do both work super hard. We pretty much work 7 days a week. That's kind of how it is when you own your own business. But like I said, like, we have to pay taxes. We, especially, like, as somebody who owns their own business and works as a 1099 employee, which is basically contract work, you don't get taxes taken out of your paycheck. So we do pay, like, a really significant amount of taxes come tax season, and that's the type of stuff, like, you just have to be conscious about that. So I guess I don't know if that really answers the question. Like, yes, we make good money, but we also work really hard to be able to make that money, to be able to do the things that we want to do. So, and I truly believe that, like, anybody can do that. It's not just like, oh, I'm in a position where I have a lot of Instagram followers, so I'm able to make good money. It's like, it's not like that. Like, we work every single day. So I guess that's probably the best way to answer that question. I prefer Target over Walmart. Okay. No, actually, I prefer Walmart over Target. I know that's super, like, ghetto, but I love Walmart. Like, Target has, like, pretty stuff, but Walmart's way cheaper, and, like, you can get some pretty stuff there, too. That my job is just blog and social media. So, I do have my blog. I do definitely do social media promotion. I also do eyelash extensions, and I also work as a marketing partner with a rosé company. So I do have many different jobs. Those are not the only things. And then also I really am trying to do the vlog thing, and it takes up way more time than you guys think. That's why this video will end up being late. That I grew up well off. I didn't grow up like super well off. Like, I went to private school for 1 year, but then we stopped going to private school. But I lived in, like, a 4-bedroom house, you know, had, like, 3 bathrooms. It was pretty standard. I grew up just pretty, like, middle class. That I eat unhealthy a lot of the time. I would say I definitely do eat unhealthy a lot of time, but I try to balance it, and also I do intermittent fasting. So if you know what that is, you know why that can all work out. That we split our bills. So we don't split our bills. We kind of just, like, John pays the rent, and then I just pay, I think, like, the electric is in my name, the cable is in my name. I think the gas might be in my name. Like, I just pay the things that are in my name just because they come in the mail and they say Allison Green, so then I just pay them. But, like, the phone bill John pays. I mean, we don't really split it. Like, I would say he definitely pays more than I pay. I try to tell him that we pay equal because I get nervous that he'll make me, like, cover the other half, which he would never do. But, so I always tell him, I'm like, no, babe, we're equal this month. Trust me, I already, like, ran the numbers. But we don't split bills. Even, like, there's times where I'll be like, oh, I'll Venmo you for that, and like John will get annoyed that I even say stuff like that, or like vice versa. He'll be like, oh, I'll Venmo you, but like we're pretty much married, so like what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. We definitely don't split the bills. That I was a straight A student. I would say I was a straight A student until college. When I started like working and busting my butt, I definitely was not a straight A student. So the last one that I am gonna do, because honestly like most of these have been the same, is I'm one of those crazy girlfriends who claims they are not crazy but low-key know that they are crazy. LOL. Okay, definitely would say that I'm a crazy girlfriend. Like I would take it as far as giving you example from this past weekend when we flew home from Disney. There was a girl, we flew Southwest, so it's like the open seating. There was a girl who sat down next to John. He got on first. First of all, he was supposed to save 4 seats. One for me, one for him, one for Sydney, and one for Anthony. So he was the only one who had an early boarding pass because there was only one left. So he was like, all right guys, like I'll do the job. So we were like, okay. I knew we should not trust him for the life of us with this job because he's not aggressive. He's not gonna be like, I'm saving these seats. He's just gonna let anybody sit down and say nothing. So he gets a seat. I only like aisle seats. He gets a seat and he sits in the middle so that it can be like he's saving that whole row, and then he's gonna try to save the other one. The kid lets a girl sit down and says nothing. She sits in the aisle seat, and then somebody sits next to her, and so he says nothing. So now it's like, literally this is the reason why I said we shouldn't trust him with this job. The girl sits there, she was like our age, and he texts me and he's like, oh, this girl sat down next to me, blah blah blah. I was like, tell her you're saving the seat, like what do you mean? And he was like, Ella, I don't own the plane. I was like, all right, whatever. So I get on the plane. He says, I saved you a window seat. And the only seat that I get don't get nauseous in is the aisle seat. So clearly he just doesn't know me. Anyway, so I get there and some guy says, oh, is anybody sitting there, to John? And he says, yeah, my fiance, and points because I was right behind the guy. And I turned around and he turned around and I smiled. I was like, hey. The girl, her face, like she immediately is like what, he has a fiance. So like clearly she sat down next to him because she probably had a crush on him and thought that this was gonna be her chance to like chit chat with the dude on the plane that's really good looking, whatever. So he goes, oh, is it okay if he tried to ask her basically if I could sit in the aisle, and I was like, it's fine, like it's fine, just forget it, I'm gonna sit by the window. So I like get up to go over, and I can tell that this girl is like definitely crushing on my man. I just gave off the vibe, like such an uncomfortable vibe about the situation to her, that she literally tried to get up and move to a different seat in the plane. Well, there was no other seats open, so she had to come back. Then we had to go to the bathroom like one after another, and she was like, if you just need to get out, like it's fine. She was staring John down the entire plane ride, and like I was definitely giving off super possessive vibes. Made her so uncomfortable. Like I'm definitely a crazy girlfriend. I was like making up psycho stories in my head that she was like gonna try to do things to him while we were sitting there. I'm definitely a crazy girlfriend, and I'd be happy to admit that. I wouldn't say that I would claim that I'm not. So hopefully these assumptions were like good. It's just kind of a boring video, but kind of a little bit of story time. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do more vlogs like this. I feel like I probably always say that at the end of my videos, but yeah, so y'all have a good rest of your day.